Monday, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, even leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. I'm Anthony Totri.
Yeah, you are.
Joined, as always, by Shane Diefenbach,
Yes, I am.
Shawn DePaz.
Yeah, he is.
Gents, how was your weekend?
Uneventful other than the shot.
Oh, yeah?
Literally nothing else happened. It would have been a lot more fun, but...
Yeah. Somebody fell asleep.
You're not shaming me. I don't give a shit.
You apologize, so
He did.
you clearly do care.
We weren't going to shame you.
I more felt bad about not letting you know what was going on than I did not
You just got high and fell asleep.
Yeah, more or less. Like
That's
this
fair.
disgustingly
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
When you're smoking on that Wildcats pack, what do you want from me?
That's not fair. We got to hold him to a better standard than
what standard?
that. Of being a good friend.
Well, I don't care that he didn't go. I'm more upset that he didn't let us know.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
apologizing for.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, that's on me. Hand up, 100%.
That's fine.
Communication was the issue.
Before we get into what's next for Arizona State and the effects,
How was your weekend?
my weekend was good. I'm trying to think. Did I do anything yesterday? I did not. Outside of ASU, I mean, I don't know if it was just like me being more aware of it, but it felt like there was a lot of buzzer beaters or potential buzzer beaters.
That's what I was about to say.
No,
I love
there
how,
were so many more than normal.
but I love how we were like, "Oh, how was your weekend?" As if the game didn't happen Saturday.
Well, that's what I,
That was the weekend.
That was my
That
weekend.
was
and my
absolutely
point.
the
That
weekend.
affected my entire
I
weekend.
said aside from the shot.
Oh.
It was-
When you said shot, I thought you were talking about the tequila shots for some reason. I don't know why.
Get your head in the game, Sean. Wake up.
But there were. It felt like there were a bunch of buzzer beaters or potential like game winners, like Joel Embiid's full court shot that didn't
Paul
count.
George did one last
Paul
night.
George did one.
Caitlin Clark had a ridiculous game winner. Did you guys see that one?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
she's a dog. And her, it's funny when you juxtapose her reaction after to Dez's, because Dez was like, "I was just trying to make it look good," and
Yeah.
she was like, I knew it was money."
Yeah,
because she's maybe the greatest
Florida
basketball player on
State
the planet.
Florida State won on
Over
a buzzer
Miami.
beater.
Yep.
Oregon got lucky as hell. You see Oregon?
No.
Oregon,
They barely beat Oregon State, right?
But by basically a buzzer beater. Shout out to Chris in the chat. Chris says no way he made that shit like for real. But the way he was DMing me on Instagram, the man was like
Locked in.
quintuple texting me on Instagram, messaging me, just like he was like I thought I was having a heart attack, and then I was like, "Are you alive?" And then I didn't get a response until 4 a.m. on Sunday morning saying, "I just woke up. I slept for 12 hours." Duh. Just that's the type of shit that shot makes you do.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's talk about the effects of the shot a little bit, just in terms of what this means for the rest of Arizona State's season. There are obviously still 2 massive games left for ASU this week. They've got number 4 UCLA on the road Thursday, and then they're staying in LA and they're on the road against USC to close out the season. The Bruins have already locked in the regular season Pac-12 title. So U of A, unlucky for you guys that because you lost to ASU. That's how that goes.
Yep.
But guys, just what does Saturday's win mean for the rest of the season?
I mean, it lowers the bar. It means you have to accomplish less to get into the tournament, which is not the way you should be looking, or they should be looking at it, and I'm sure it's not. But I mean, it's just a fact of the matter. It's like you set yourself up now. Like it's at a point where you kind of control your own. I mean,
you control your own destiny.
You win games and you're in. I guess that's just kind of how sports work, though.
Not even games. You win Thursday, you're in.
Probably, yeah. So I mean, it set you up for success. Where now the margin for errors, it was quite thin, and now it is a decent amount bigger. But they still have a job to do. It's not by no means guarantees them a spot in the tournament. So they win one of these next 2. I think they're in.
Yeah, I'd take that even one step further. It's not just obviously, as you said, it makes the job a lot harder or a lot easier.
Yeah.
But now you get that win, the first of this gauntlet, where the expectations were you got to win 1, maybe steal 1 of them if it's USC, sure, but try to steal 2 if you can get in, then you can get in the tournament. Now it's like, okay, you took that first game.
Everything's in front of you.
Expectations are higher.
Yeah,
you remember the UCLA game at DFA? You know, it was at DFA.
Yeah,
but that game was close for 38 minutes.
This game last Saturday was at McKell. Anything's possible.
Exactly.
And I mean, I think we were all some more vocally than others, I guess, kind of looking at it like, all right, if there's one they're going to win, it's probably that USC won. But the reality of that situation was we were thinking they were going to lose 2 straight games and then have to win the most important game of the season, which I mean, kind of based on what we know about this team, probably wouldn't have been the most team-friendly situation to be in. And so now, like I said, everything's in front of them. They won this game, and now they're looking at these next two games as kind of, they've got like I don't know, like a card up their sleeve, and that's literally the right way to put it. But like, they're now in a situation where there's not as much pressure on these games individually to win them, and I think that benefits them.
Don't listen to the net, Joe.
Yeah, Joe in the chat, we dropped the net yesterday.
The net doesn't select the teams in the tournament.
It does have a big
It does have an impact, but
it doesn't
assuming you beat UCLA, you're going to shoot up in the net or UCLA is number 4.
Yeah.
And
I think if you beat either UCLA or USC, you shoot up 5 to 10 spots. Like, genuinely.
Because UCLA, we've already talked about, if you beat back-to-back the 1 and 2 teams on the road in the Pac-12 at this point in the season, right? We've talked pretty much all season long about, first off, ASU getting the marquee wins. They've got their marquee win now, number 7, Arizona on the road. Massive. I don't care how they did it. They got it done. And like the eye test down the stretch, right? These wins maybe coming at the start of Pac-12 play. Obviously, they'd be important, but I don't think they'd carry the same weight that they do now in the season.
Yeah, well, in terms of the net, that's not true because the net, like...
No, I'm not talking about net.
I know. You're, but in the net, you don't move that much later in the season. That's just not how it works. But yeah, I mean, in terms of conference standings and where you're to moving up in the ball, I mean, shit, ASU moved up a couple spots after the win midday on Saturday on Lunardi's bracketology.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weekend, a bunch of teams in front of them lost, but a lot of the teams that were like in the tournament and above in the net won. So that's why you see the movement in the net not really do anything. Michigan gets a win. Big for ASU. ASU now moves up to 69th, which is 1 spot out of the last 4 in.
Literally.
1 spot.
They're the last team out.
You know what hurt? North Carolina beating Virginia. That sucks. If
Virginia's
North Carolina doesn't beat Virginia, you are in the tournament right now. Right now.
Virginia shouldn't be in the tournament. I hate that team
Virginia?
So much. I'm being dramatic, but I also think they're going to lose in like the first round. They're the most fraudulent. Well, I guess I would. They as of 24 hours ago, they're the most fraudulent top 10 team, but they were no longer in the top 10.
Shout out Tony Bennett though.
I think a lot's going to be made of the UCLA game, whatever happens on Thursday. But like to your point, Shawn, I think there's a chance you get in. I think you beat USC. USC is another team right on the bubble. So we'll see what happens with them. They've got a big game against Arizona on Thursday. So that's going to be massively important, not only for NCAA tournament chances for USC, but I think more so, obviously, for their Pac-12 tournament spot. I believe they lock in the 3 if they win on Thursday.
USC?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they already did lock in the 3.
Okay.
Because the worst they can do is
if they drop 2.
The worst they can do is tie
with ASU.
And well, I guess I don't know. That was before I didn't.
Your tiebreaker. So what's the tiebreaker?
So let's pull. Do you want to pull?
Yeah, let's pull up the fight for 4 real quick.
I took USC off of this graphic because I thought the tiebreaker was conference record.
I don't know if they can slip past 4 though. Okay. So this is what it is. I thought it was.
Oh, they can't. Yeah, you're right. They can't.
I thought it was going to go to head to head, or after head to head, it was going to go to overall record. But I remember I said that for the Pac-12 standings in football, and I found something like that's not true. So I looked at the basketball one, and it's not true. What it is it goes head to head, and then if you're tied on head to head, which ASU and Oregon are, then it goes to common record or a record against common opponents, starting with the top.
That's
so.
Right.
That's in ASU's favor. ASU just needs to win against Arizona.
Is it?
Or yes, it is because Oregon didn't beat UCLA and they didn't beat U of A.
Yes, they did.
Oregon beat U of A once.
They did?
Yeah, remember they blew them out that first game.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find out what it goes to next.
Okay, so for everybody on audio right now, the fight for 4, pretty much that 4th spot looks like this. ASU obviously with a big win this past Saturday against Arizona. They sit at 20-9 overall, 11-7 in conference. They got the 2 big games to finish up the regular season at number 4 UCLA, then at USC.
Right. I forgot. I thought they only played once. That's my bad.
And then you've got Oregon sitting at 16-13 overall, 10-8 in conference, with definitely the easiest 2 games left on their schedule. They're home against Cal. They're home against Stanford. They barely snuck past Oregon State this weekend, so I wouldn't say anything is a gimme. And it is a Pac-12. I wouldn't be shocked if Cal and Stanford wanted to play a little bit of spoiler here in terms of Pac-12 bye.
Then they have it up because they have a better record overall.
Okay.
Then it goes to that. And then if it, please, for the love of God, let this happen. It's a coin toss.
No.
Please.
No.
Not for ASU, but just soon, someday.
At some point.
A coin toss.
Decide 5-6.
A coin toss conducted by George Kliavkoff.
Oh my gosh.
Would be amazing.
We are in that territory for Oregon, Utah. I don't know what their common opponents are, but
well, actually, no. You would go down. So be USC? Did Oregon beat USC? So it wouldn't go to the overall record because it would have to be tied throughout everything. Let me see. Sorry, this is.
Well, I'm saying Oregon, Utah for the 5 seed.
No,
we could
I know,
end up in a coin toss.
Oregon beat USC, so they will have that up on. Unless you can beat USC, then it would go to another one. Wait, shit.
No, Oregon beat Utah twice, so Oregon would definitely take it over Utah.
But Utah is lower.
With what?
In the Pac-12
right now, Utah
that's
is
right. That's
17 and 13 overall, 10 and 9 in conference with just one game left at Colorado. On the road against the Buffs isn't a gimme game either.
Man, did Oregon only play USC once? That's so unfair.
Probably.
Shit. Yeah. You got to win out basically now. That sucks. Did they really only play them once?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, the last week of Pac-12 basketball is going to decide a lot in terms of what we see in Las Vegas next week. It would be great for ASU to obviously win out. You win out, you get a bye. Mm-hmm. I mean, you win out, you're also pretty much guaranteeing yourself a spot in the NCAA tournament. I have said that I don't even think it needs to go that far. I think you beat UCLA in the NCAA tournament, assuming you don't lose first round of the Pac-12 tournament in a horrible way, like a buzzer beater to Cal or something crazy. But we'll see what happens. You never know with the Pac-12.
Why would you say that?
We've seen crazier things. We've seen crazier things, man. We've seen crazier things. I'm sorry. Look, guys, before we discuss what this past weekend meant for Bobby Hurley and what the rest of the season means for Bobby Hurley, I want to tell you guys about Four Peaks. Our friends at Four Peaks are going to be out at the M3F Festival March 3rd and 4th. Grab your tickets at m3ffest.com and enjoy a wow wheat beer while you're there. You do got to be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. I know we celebrated ASU's dub with some Four Peaks this past weekend. I'm staring at boxes full of Four Peaks right over there, guys. Have we changed? Do we have a power rankings on Four Peaks, or is it consistently the wow at the top?
I mean, WOW's just, it depends. Are you drafting best fit or best available? Because WOW's best available.
You're always drafting for best available.
I mean,
great teams draft best available.
I'm going WOW. But I mean, if I come,
potential?
I mean, I'm a big Golden Lager guy. Golden Lager's like my Anthony Richardson. I'm not sure everyone fully recognizes the athleticism that and the potential that Golden Lager has.
You finish the ad read. I don't want to hear about this at all.
I already did. 21 years or older. Enjoy responsibly, guys.
Damn, bro. There's heads coming to this. Sorry, there's heads coming to this M3F festival. Toro and Moy, Peach Pit.
Oh, Peach Pit is so good live.
Quinn XCI or Quinn XCII.
Quinn 92. Thank you.
Sure. Maggie Rogers.
Oh, Leah.
Coyotes play that day. Tragic. I mean, they could have like me up there performing all day, and I would go to that festival if I'm drinking Four Peaks. But
can I get back to? I know you have another thing. This is the original point I was trying to make. If ASU beats UCLA, even if they lose to USC and they get in the tiebreaker, then they would win because Oregon did not beat UCLA. So that's what I was trying to get to.
That's your tiebreaker.
That's what I was trying to get to. Because then you win because it's common record against the highest. And if it's tied, then it goes to the next one. So then Arizona would matter. But if you beat UCLA, then Arizona doesn't matter.
So pretty much everything that ASU has worked all season toward is on the line Thursday.
If ASU beats UCLA, you have that. You are at the 4 spot no matter what.
And you're in the tournament. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Most likely. I'm assuming if you beat the two
UCLA,
best teams in the pack,
you're
both
in the
top
tournament.
10 teams back to back, you're probably going to be an attorney.
You were talking about heads. You want to?
Well, no, I was going to say it'd be really depressing if they beat UCLA and we were all excited. We thought they were going to make the tournament just to get to the selection Sunday.
Yeah,
and they let us down.
Hate letdowns.
It would also be really depressing if you're at home, you're all comfortable, You work up this big lead, all exciting, and then the last second, somebody comes in and drops a buzzer beater at the very last second and ruins your hopes and dreams. Shout out, University of Arizona. It'd be also really depressing if you spent all day, sending your shorties at work. You're at work. Gotta send a shorty some text messages, some suggestive text messages, getting ready for the evening. You feel me? You get all hyped up. Got her all hyped up, or him, or them. I don't know. Whatever your get down is. You get to the end of the day, all worked up. The moment comes.
Des Cambridge throws in.
And then Des Cambridge comes from out of nowhere and ruins your evening. Or, Des Cambridge, he has that it factor. He has the clutch gene. Not everybody has it, and that's okay. You get to that moment with your significant other.
And you airball.
You airball. You can't get it. You can't. You don't airball because you can't even get it up. You can't even get the shot up.
Yeah, the ball goes flat.
Ball goes flat. There's nothing more nothing more disappointing than when you try to go play ball and you realize the ball's a little flat.
Yeah, and you don't have swipes or a thing.
Yeah, you don't have an air pump, or you don't have Roman.
There's no pump.
Roman will. There's no way you just did that.
Why'd you acknowledge it? There's no pump.
Okay.
I love a ball.
Yeah, carry on.
Were you excited just to be disappointed at the very end? Perfect time for you to get here, Chris. Roman's got you. And whether we're talking about basketball, I mean, part of that's a lie. Roman will not pump up your actual basketball, but they'll pump up your balls.
I think everybody understands this is a
I know.
metaphor.
Well, I'm just making it clear because now we're getting to the disclaimer and the medical part of it, and I want to make it very clear that Roman cannot give you an air pump to pump up your basketball, but they can give you various medications and over-the-counter treatments for your inability to pump up your own balls. It happens to the best of us. And if you want to learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/PHNX to get 20% off your entire order. That's ro.co/PHNX, because no one likes getting their hopes and dreams crushed at the buzzer. Isn't that right, Leah? She's the only Wildcat nearby.
Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Bo. Well, he's an ASU basketball fan.
He said, whoa. All right, guys, let's talk about
Thank you.
so Bobby Hurley.
I wish Damon was here.
What do you think this past weekend, and I guess the rest of the season, can do for Bobby Hurley in his tenure at Arizona State? I think we're in agreement that what he did on Saturday was probably either the biggest or second biggest win of his career so far at ASU. Would you say so?
I was just thinking, have they ever beaten a ranked team in conference at the end of the conference play with Bobby Hurley? Have they ever done that? UCLA was close to the end of conference
play. A little more middle of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
as of late, no. They don't do this in conference play. They don't beat ranked teams on the road in conference play.
If you knew nothing about this year and you looked at the record and you looked at they beat U of A in McHale, you'd be like, why are we even talking about Bobby getting fired?
Yeah.
But it's just the trend that started.
I don't think this conversation.
I think he for sure solidified his spot.
I don't think there's a conversation to be had. I mean, unless he loses like these next 3 games, assuming that one of them is against
it would have
Cal
to be against
in the first
Cal.
round or the second round of the tournament, and that's best/worst case scenario because Cal would have to win their first game for that to happen. But unless they lose 3 games,
awesome.
Could you imagine? Well, until Cal beats us,
until Cal wins the conference tournament.
I will. If ASU is not winning the conference tournament, I could sleep good at night knowing they lost to Cal just for Cal to win the Pac-12 tournament. Anyways, unless they lose these next 3 games by like an average of 35 points, I don't think. Yeah. And even then, I don't know if Bobby's getting fired. I don't think it's. If there was a shot of it before, which I'm not sure that there was, there's none now. I mean, there was definitely a conversation to be had, yeah, but I don't know what was going through Ray's mind at that point.
Let me make the case for it, though. Even
to fire him?
No, even without this U of A win. They started the year with a very new roster, and you lost to Texas Southern. Fast forward a couple weeks, and your best player is off the team. You have 2 returning guys that actually played ball at ASU last year. You have a whole new roster. chemistry issues look like they're everywhere. And you rattle off, 10 straight? Beating Michigan, beating Creighton out of conference. Your team dips a little bit like it normally does. Everyone starts talking again. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, you just beat U of A at McHale. Like, that's pretty damn awesome. That's a pretty awesome resume.
Yeah, I would say before the U of A win, though, and that's just another year of us coming up with excuses for Bobby Hurley. And I know you're just playing devil's advocate to a certain extent, but like, I don't give a shit about the circumstances. Like, if they hadn't beat U of A and they had lost these last 3 games of the season, and then they lose in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament,
then I think there's a conversation.
I don't give a shit about.
But that's not what's
circumstances.
happening.
No, I know,
but that's why I said people start talking, because we did start talking.
Yeah.
We were saying, oh shit, it's happening again. Here comes the shit show again. But then they beat U of A.
At a certain point, they lost 5 of 6.
Yeah,
and like they weren't great losses.
I think
pretty bad losses.
This Arizona win all started with the win at home against Utah.
Yeah, that Utah win is, I feel like it's getting looked past because of what ASU did against U of A. But in reality, that Utah win is what really is keeping their hopes of an NCAA tournament bid alive at this point. Because they'd be much further in that if they dropped that home game to Utah. And then you look at just what this did in terms of the number 4 seed, then they would, in theory, have to win out and probably get some help if they wanted to have a bye if they didn't beat Utah. And then at that point, you have lost a ton of games to teams that are either equal to you or less than you, in theory. And then I think there is certainly a conversation to be had about what Bobby Hurley's future looks like at Arizona State. Because then everybody's down, right? The fans are down. You got to imagine the players are down.
Yeah. We had talked about this before. Regardless of whether or not, like, on paper, in a vacuum, Bobby deserved to be fired. When you put it in the context of everything else that is happening with ASU athletics, like, it kind of seems like the kind of thing where you just can't really have bad vibes right now.
Well,
and if
can't afford the bad vibes.
If Bobby had gone, like, without this U of A win, and especially if they had lost to Utah, and at that point they have lost a lot of games in a short period of time, that point you just gotta, you can't even take the risk of him coming back anymore. I don't think. But thankfully we're not in that situation.
Yeah, and not even in the context of what's going on at ASU. There's the context of the last like 5 years.
Well,
Bobby.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, and I think, I mean, in the past couple of seasons, there's been a lot of, it's COVID. It's COVID. There's excuses. There's valid excuses, though it's an excuse for everybody.
No power or running water at your arena.
At this point, the excuses have run out, right? And I think
like the water at your arena.
Santa ruined you. Also, that was an excuse. For
Santa ruined you.
I hate Christmas.
That was another thing that, like, I was impressed with.
Yeah.
The way this team came out, and they didn't, like, they played Utah not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before, correct? Right? So, like, to have some time off before you have to play Arizona, we've seen how that hurts Bobby Hurley teams in the past, specifically against the Wildcats. So, to be able to go out there and do what you did with a little bit of a break, not get in your own head in terms of the season's on the line, pretty much. You go into McHale, the toughest place to play, in my mind, in the Pac-12. You could argue it's a top 5 place to play in college basketball. And they didn't waver. Like, they were down almost 10 at one point, or they were down at 10 at one point. And then to come back, storm back, and pretty much put the nation on notice.
Well, we didn't talk about this coming into this game, but the first time they played U of A, they had 10 days off before, and that was the Christmas break.
Yeah, and that was after the 37-point loss to San Francisco.
Exactly. So,
but then what did they do after that? After the Arizona game, they won 4 straight. Washington State, Washington, and then at Oregon and at Oregon State.
But I mean, it even starts with the Arizona game. They lost by 9. That game was.
But they played well.
They played well against Arizona. Like, I think it started there in terms of bouncing back after, like, the Christmas thing. So it does seem like Bobby has started to put a lot of these. COVID is a non-factor this year. They bounce back after Christmas. They bounce back after losing a string of games late in the conference schedule. Like, obviously it's a very small sample size in 1 year, but compared to the 7 other years or whatever it is. But Bobby did, in a lot of ways, silence a lot of those excuses that he had, even himself, had been using earlier on. They didn't have any of those this year, and they or the ones that they did, like the Christmas break, like the losing a string of games, they managed to bounce back from. So for the Bobby Hurley doubters and haters, of which there are many, I'm sure, this season has kind of put a lot of that stuff to sleep.
Yeah. And I don't know if you could question it before, but if someone did, there's at no point can you now question Bobby Hurley's commitment to this program, and just how much that win at Arizona meant. Just seeing his reaction immediately when the shot went in. Like, I know there's going to be people like, oh, he needed to keep his composure and not turn to the crowd, wave him goodbye on his way out and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a rivalry. Like, at McHale, they literally chant, fuck Bobby Hurley every single year. And they let him know. And guess what? He has to go through that, and they lose every single year. Not this year. So he got his. Waving him goodbye, pointing at him. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
And as we said on Saturday, you can't say shit to us because it was a lose-lose situation for y'all. It was win-win for us. If we lost, we were supposed to lose. If we won, we won. And you're going to be like, you're all this happiness after you beat us one time and it's the best day of your life. Fucking right it is.
The only win for them is that they won by like 35. And they didn't even come close. The lead was never more than 10.
Yeah.
Or I think it got to 11 once.
Yeah. I almost love it that they had to come back. Right? Like that it wasn't like I know it was close the majority of the game, but I love the fact that U of A was up 10 at one point, and at that point, myself included, counted them out. Game's over. You're down 10. They're a better team, and they're at home. They've got, in theory, a better coach. Like, there's no shot, right? So what do? You literally did the unthinkable. You came back down 10 and won off a buzzer beater. Like, you can't get any more clutch than that, in my mind, at least. So, look, it was definitely a weekend worth celebrating, guys. And I don't know about you, but a perfect celebratory thing, food, for any ASU win is Burrito Express. Guys, and if you didn't know,
would you call a burrito?
A food, a thing,
an object,
a noun for sure.
A tortilla-wrapped bundle of goodness.
It's just a descriptor.
What would you call it?
So is a noun.
Heaven.
Oh,
that's a descriptor too.
No, it's a place.
So it takes you somewhere?
It's having a proper
A tortilla-wrapped bundle of goodness can be a place.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
You're definitely not wrong.
Thank you.
Guys, Burrito Express, heaven, a noun, whatever you want to call it.
Bundle of goodness.
If you didn't know, they've got themselves two new NIL athletes, AFC football player Elijah Badger and softball star Jazz Hill. They're going to receive support in cash, clothes, and of course, burritos. Guys, check out BE because they got locations all over the valley. Give them a follow on social while you're at it, at Burrito EXP.
Burrito Express. Get it in you.
Let me see.
Get it in your pockets.
One sec.
What are we looking for?
Go to the meet and greet.
Oh yeah,
Meet and greet.
They got themselves
March 4th, 11 a.m. to noon. Jazz, the Acuna sisters, and Kylie McGee will all be at Burrito Express in Tempe, March 4th, 11 a.m. to noon.
I'm fascinated just to see how the Acuna sisters interact with each other. I can't imagine
they're sisters.
Well, I know, but I'm just like I can't imagine.
What does that mean?
How would you expect siblings to interact?
All
with
siblings
each other?
interact differently.
Yeah, and I'm saying it more in the
Are you an only
context.
child?
No.
Oh yeah, you have a brother.
I was saying it more in the context of like I would be fascinated to see how Bobby Hurley and Bobby Jr. Senior or Junior and Senior interact with each other.
Bobby Jr. Senior.
Junior and Senior.
Yeah.
How they interact with each other. They're dad and son. How do you think they act?
Gaffney's face in this photo.
Yeah.
I also love really bad audio. I'm sorry, but this picture on the front page or on ASU's picture of it, I did not realize that Sparky just got out in there. Like this is immediately after the shot. Sparky was in the group.
Oh yeah, ESPN, get your shit right. Azulis Tubelis does not play for the Sun Devils. Get that out of your article.
Chat.
Clowns.
Did you guys notice as much as we noticed how bad Bobby Hurley Jr. fell?
Yeah, he got
after it.
RKO.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure Ballo, because the injury was real, I'm sure Ballo needed to sit down and relax, elevate his knee on some nice furniture. But he didn't have any more furniture because
we didn't have any more furniture.
I didn't have
what
any.
do you do with all of it?
Funny. He didn't have any MOR furniture. McHale, at least I didn't think so. Save big on the best furniture in the valley when you head over to morefurniture.com. Just helped Leah finish moving into her brand new house with some more furniture. Shawn's got some. It's comfortable. We're sitting in it right now. Shout out More Furniture. As I said, if you want to save big on the best furniture in the valley, head over to morefurniture.com.
I feel like I need to clarify to the audio listeners. I audibly reacted to something, even though I thought I was doing it in my own head. I was not saying that more furniture is disgusting. It was the greatest thing on the planet.
There was some
limoncello coated almonds. Sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't like
chocolate almonds.
well, I don't like chocolate, and I also don't like.
Oh, but it's white chocolate.
Oh, okay.
That might go crazy.
I don't like lemon flavored things. Like
Really?
I love lemon.
Like lemon meringue cake or
no. Lemon flavored dessert or citrus flavored desserts, orange, lime.
Oh, you're just wrong.
I don't
It's
like it.
wrong opinion.
I mean, I have a very particular dessert takes in general because I don't like chocolate. I'm allergic to peanut butter and I don't like coconut. What do I eat?
White chocolate.
I like white chocolate. I like anything vanilla. I'm a big fruit guy, so I'm a big
cheesecake.
You just said you don't like
cheesecake.
citrus.
Yeah. Okay.
Fruit, citrus.
I like berries. I'm a big berry guy. Raspberry.
Shawn DeBerry.
Strawberry cheesecake is like my favorite thing. Strawberry shortcake. I love it.
Strawberry shortcake.
Strawberries and cream.
Whipped cream, no cream?
Whipped cream. Come on. I love a good biscuit.
Is that dessert?
Oh,
Part
like,
of the strawberries and
yeah.
cream.
Oh,
Strawberries
okay.
and biscuits.
It's like just a biscuit. It's kind of crazy.
Biscuits and honey. I don't know. That's not dessert.
I like
everything.
everything.
Yeah, biscuits and honey.
Dessert
biscuits
is-
and jam.
Dessert is simultaneously my worst and favorite favorite and least favorite meal because I loved a good dessert. But
I've
my
never heard
selections-
anybody pronounce the U in simultaneously.
simultaneously.
Holy shit.
Isn't that weird? You
Do
do
it-
some weird things
do
with
it
your
again.
mouth to pause.
Simultaneously.
Pause.
Simultaneous.
Oh come on, dog!
I did that on purpose.
I was gonna say
That is pretty. I've never heard anybody
Yeah.
say that before.
Simultaneously.
simultaneous.
What else do you say weird?
I feel like there's a lot of things. I mean,
Shawn, can you say coconut
Frank
again?
and Joanne ran down transit from Amherst to Lancaster.
That's just.
What'd you say?
Can you say coconut again?
Coconut.
I know. There was a viral video where somebody pronounced coconut.
Coconut.
Cocoa
Melon.
If you pronounced it coconut, I would
Coconut.
get up and leave.
No, I do not. I do pronounce it chocolate.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I can't think of weird things. Like I have an accent.
TPSP.
A
TPSP,
TPSP.
but
There are
like,
just random things that
How do you
say
say the
weird.
name SAL?
Oh, yeah.
Sal?
Sail?
Like sail?
Sail? Like
Dude, you've
like
done,
a boat?
you two have done this 5 times.
It's been a long.
I'm not kidding. You've done this
I brought this up before,
We have
but
not-
I didn't bring up the conversation about my accent. So.
No, but you have given
that
Sal
sentence
as an explanation to you
Really?
5 times.
We've done it at least once. Like
That's
near the
I do
beginning.
not
of the old
remember that
studio,
at
I've
all.
only
you
done it
have the
once.
same exact thing. You say Sal, and he goes sail,
Sail.
and you go
You're like,
sail. Literally 5
Sail.
times, chat. I'm not kidding.
But SAL, SAIL, and SALE are all pronounced the same.
No,
To you.
one is Sal, one is sail.
It's all sail. To me,
You're wrong.
to people in Western New York,
Can
we have
talk
hard.
about
Sail,
dingers? Can we talk
Sal.
about dingers?
Sail.
How do you pronounce dingers?
Jordyn VanHook. That's how you
There
pronounce
you
it.
go.
She's got 9 of them on the season, guys. Second in the nation. She was leading the country in home runs for a quick second. And then you said somebody in
Clemson got one more. Of course, it's fucking Clemson.
damn Tigers. But ASU, guys, 11-2. They got the series sweep at home over Iowa State. I'm just going to say it. Is it too early to talk about this team hosting a regional?
No.
They were hosted one last year, and now they've had one loss. Of course, it's not too early.
I mean, I'm just
No,
this team might be better than last year's team. They
Pump the
might
brake.
be.
Pump
They
the
might
brake.
be.
They
They
have
might
not
be.
played anybody yet. Pump
might
the
be, though.
brakes.
They might
I
be,
mean, it
though.
would be cool, but let's relax. This team is good so far. They've
They've won in every way.
Yeah, they have not really had that much of a test yet, though.
Yeah, but there are teams in. This is something that I put on social media is D1 softball. They put out
Yes.
their top 25.
Yes.
ASU, nowhere to be found.
Yes.
They have as many or more wins than 9 teams in that top 25. And they have as many or fewer losses than 17 of those 25 teams.
Okay.
There is a 6-6 Northwestern team that is a top 25 team.
Okay. But if the University at Buffalo goes undefeated in non-conference play and ASU goes undefeated in non-conference play, you're not going to sit here and tell me that those
look,
two teams are the best team in the country just because. I'm just saying, looking at the record is not an indication of where they should be in the ranking.
Just putting the numbers out there.
I mean, I got a number for you. D1 softball, their softball RPI has ASU as like the 50th best team in the country. So all I'm saying is they haven't played anybody yet. Not that this team isn't going to be good. I think they're going to be very good. And I think that, like I said, there is a legitimate conversation to be had about them hosting a regional because I think they can. And I think, especially when you hosted one last year, that should be the expectation. But they still have a lot to prove is ultimately my point. The one thing that you don't have to prove is the fact that Jordyn VanHook has hit the ball over the fence a bunch of times. Like, that doesn't change regardless of who you're playing. Like, she's clearly got power. There's clearly bats on this team. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to, or how that is going to transfer when they're playing equitable talent.
You know who's leading Texas A&M in home runs right now?
Riley Valentine. Yeah, she's
tiny, dog.
Every time I see Texas A&M softball, she's doing something, dude.
Yeah, she's not hitting for average. She's only hitting 222, but she has 4 dingers
She's hitting
already.
bombs. She's hitting absolute
like I said, she doesn't seem like she should be able to.
There are 4 players on ASU, though, currently hitting above 400. You got Jazz Rollin, Yanni Acuna, Jordyn VanHook, and Alexa Milas. And then McKenna Harper is pretty close to it. She's batting above 300. Like, this is without even talking about Emily Cazares, who is, I want to say, probably one of the most underrated players on this team.
Yeah.
It seems like any time ASU needs a hit, outside of Yanni, she's the one getting it. And then you've got Jazz Hill, obviously, there as well. Not the greatest season offensively thus far, but she's doing exactly what she needs to do.
How many home runs has Sydney Sanders hit this year?
0.
Same as Totri. None.
Damn.
How many have you hit?
None. Same as me also.
He just had to
I've
put
hit
me
3.
on blast. You've hit 3?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Hey,
we
good
just
for you,
both
dude.
knew, so I didn't put you on blast.
You did put me on blast,
Dude,
but I didn't.
imagine
know.
not
you
hitting
play softball?
Yeah,
Imagine not hitting dingers in D1 softball.
Division 1?
Can't
No.
relate.
Yeah. So
I do.
you do
Mhm.
for ASU.
No.
Where?
It's another school.
No shit.
how many has Lena Torres hit?
3.
I'm
Same,
gonna say 2.
Same as the pause.
3?
3?
0.
Oh damn!
Got excited.
Hey, look,
Not the same as me then.
I don't know. I mean, look, this is. I feel like it's such a softball and baseball. It's such a tough sport to carry over what you did from a season ago.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Especially when
every
you're-
sport, and
Especially when you're
College, no.
abandoning ship.
are you salty?
when ship gets
Very.
abandoned. We are the ship.
We're the ship.
We, the royal we, are the ship.
The royal we are the ship.
Trisha Ford abandoned ship.
She did.
Ship didn't get abandoned. Well, it did.
It
by
did.
her.
You just said
Well,
it got
The
abandoned.
ship got no. You know what she did? She tried to drive it. She tried to Titanic it and drive it into an iceberg. And she was the captain. She was like, screw it. And then took her 2 favorite players and was like, let's go. And got on a lifeboat. And Megan Bartlett got up in the captain's deck and was like, "Arr!"
She drove a bus off a cliff. Turns out it's a magic school bus. Megan Bartlett is Miss
I would even
Frizzle.
say she
That shit
drove.
just flew off.
Woo! Who's the lizard? Can I be the
Me.
lizard?
I was gonna say we
Damn
are
it.
the collective
Oh,
lizard.
we all 3 of us
Yeah.
are? Nice.
The royal we.
The royal, we are the lizard.
Love it.
Also, got hand up. Not entirely positive I used royal we properly.
I don't. Yeah, I've never heard that. So
Oh, it is a thing. I just don't remember exactly
it
what
up
it
for
is.
you.
Thank you.
One thing that has stood out to me, obviously the numbers offensively are great for this team, but I didn't expect this team to pitch the way they have thus far. Kenzie Brown has pitched pretty much out of her mind this season. I was not expecting her to pitch as well as she's done. Marissa Schold as well has been,
Dog.
I mean, outside of what she's done on the mound, I think what she's done for this team, you didn't.
I don't think I didn't think I did when I used it when I said it. To be quite honest.
I mean, in like literal terms, it's about being a monarch. Like-
yeah. Yes, I knew that.
We are
Okay.
not monarchs.
But like it gets used outside of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
then maybe use.
But
that.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
knew.
what do you guys think
that's
about
the
like
reason it's called the royal we.
that's monarchy, right? That's
What do we
the
think
right-
about monarchies?
Yeah, that's like it's king, queen, that type shit, right?
I mean,
I'm
that's
just
a very
curious.
load question.
What do
What do I think about a lot of power being?
No, I posed the
Hold on.
question.
Yeah, but you do this all the time,
What?
and you
It's
put
my
us.
job.
Okay,
Post
but-
questions.
Okay,
There you go.
well, I'm
what do
gonna
you
pose
think?
one to you. What
Well,
do you think
I
about
asked
the
you
month?
first.
No.
Oh, I did.
He did ask us first.
I know, but I am using an Uno reverse card for one time. What do you think of monarchies, Totri?
Modern times probably not great. I'll be honest. I think they're dumb. I think they're real stupid.
I mean,
King and queens. What are we doing?
Yes.
It's 2023.
I would argue
We
that they're
laughed like
better.
I'm
I would
wrong.
argue that they're better now than they were
Yeah,
because now they don't have any actual power.
Yeah, that's stupid too. That's pretty crazy.
It's a waste of money. I wish we had Owen here to ask him his opinions on the monarchy.
No, I wish I'm glad we didn't.
Lizzie's in a
What do you
box. Lizzie's in a
About
box.
monarchies?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
No?
Can I
Never
be
been a
honest?
fan,
Can I
actually.
be honest?
But Prince Diefenbach goes kind of crazy as like a
Prince
thing.
Diefenbach sounds like he
As a
started World
title.
War One.
Prince Diefenbach sounds like I'm starting left
World
end
War I.
for Arizona State.
That's
Oh.
true.
Prince Dobro. Or is he at end or was he at safety? I always
He's
forget.
at
Edge
Edge
rusher.
rusher.
He's
Yeah,
an edge
yeah.
rusher.
Yeah.
Prince to pause.
My joke was better, but
What
What was
your
your
joke?
I
joke?
said it sounded like he started World War One. Prince Dief.
Mm, yeah.
what was I going to say?
Archduke Franz.
I will
Diefenbach.
say, I know this is. I will say,
Our history knowledge is pretty extensive on the show.
Except the use of
we have 5
royal
degrees on this show between the 3 of us. Like we've been in school.
Damn,
we
that's
know
we
some
have been in
things.
school.
Fucked
We
up.
know things, and
I teach people
whether we
things.
know anything about sports, that's for y'all to decide. But
Okay.
we know facts.
What were you going to say?
Just as purely as like an entertainment entity, the royal family is awesome. Like I enjoy.
I
enjoy
disagree, though.
No, it's so
Well,
fascinating.
it is fascinating,
What's
but it's
fascinating
also
about
like,
It's like you watch the Crown. That
at what
shit's-
expense?
Well, I know. Like
None to us, right?
Well,
I mean,
okay.
OJ's
okay,
wife had to die for us to get the
okay.
Kardashians.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Marissa Scholl is doing great things for ASU softball. Guys, I want to tell you about going to some of these games. You can't go to any more ASU basketball games at DFA this season, but there are still plenty of ASU sporting events that you guys should go get tickets to.
Does the women's team not play anymore?
I'm not sure. Not sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, being honest, this season didn't exist, so it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Guys, get your tickets
God.
on Game Time. Save up to 60% on tickets when you buy tickets last minute. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in that description.
You know what I think is slept on? Being
Monarchies?
spontaneous.
No,
Like-
monarchies are not slept on.
Sorry.
They are slept on, and they should stay slept
Yes.
on.
Oh, okay.
They were very awake for a very long time,
And then, much
and then
like
the
Lizzie,
Ottoman
they
Empire
went to
fell, and
sleep.
everyone's like, "Oh."
I keep taking really great subtle digs, and it's just for you,
What'd
the audio
you
listener.
say?
Nothing.
No, I got to hear it now.
Well, I
Keep
just
sleeping?
said I said just like Lizzie.
Oh,
I don't feel bad.
you get it?
Mm-mm.
Queen's dead, bro.
Oh, Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah,
I
she'd be
was thinking,
sleeping. She's sleeping with the fishes.
oh my God,
I'm not wrong. Carry on, though, with your Henry.
you can be right and say something really bad.
That's not that bad.
It's not, but you can be right and say something really
yeah,
bad.
100%.
You can be, in theory, yes.
Yeah.
But that wasn't
I know,
one of
but
those times.
I'm just okay.
Anyways,
Sometimes you say bad things and say I'm not wrong. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're right. Like maybe just don't say it. That wasn't that bad on the show.
He said it first.
I hate the Royals. Anyways,
Yeah. It's fair. Bad person.
bad people. Shout out Harry though. He seems cool. Anyways,
Anyway,
being spontaneous is
S is superfluous,
slept on.
Sean.
What?
the S is
He's
superfluous.
just
Sean.
correcting you. He's
I
correcting
know, but
your
I corrected you last
vocabulary.
time.
Anyway,
Yep.
you're right. No, that's fair. That's what we do here. We educate. Anyway,
Being spontaneous is awesome.
spontaneity is underrated, and sometimes I that's why I'm so happy baseball season's back, especially with spring training. And
You know?
did I say that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways.
Anyway.
As I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes, spontaneity, underrated. Sometimes, you got nothing going on. Just buy tickets to a sporting event and go. And you're like, why would I do that? I don't give a shit about either of these teams because you can bet on them and it can make anything interesting, even bad football like the XFL. I've never said it wasn't bad football. I've been consistent. The product is awesome, but the football itself is like watching MAC football. Anyways, well, yeah, I know. It is.
I would rather watch the MAC 10 times out of 10 because you know why? They score points.
That's fair. It's like watching Northwestern versus Nebraska football. Yeah, exactly.
I would throw up, but I have nothing in my tummy.
If they made the product. Anyways, whatever you're watching, betting makes it more interesting. And if you're going to bet on it, do it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Yes.
If you download the app now and sign up with code PHNX, that's code word PHNX. New customers can bet just $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That means you can sprint your ass over to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, throw all the money in your bank account. Don't do that. Bet responsibly. But throw some dollars on KD's over, DeAndre Ayton over on anything, Chris Paul over on rebounds, all of it. Or not rebounds, excuse me. Assists.
No, the Chris Paul over on rebounds.
Well, sure,
is
you
nice.
can do that too, but I meant
Yeah,
assists.
it's the opposite of Marcus Smart rebounds.
Whatever you do, if you place $5 on it and you're a new customer, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association, otherwise known as the NBA, with code word PHNX. But as always, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
What are you doing over here?
I don't know. There was a lot going on. I stayed locked in.
Just hanging out.
Hey, well done.
Thank you.
I know we put you through the ringer there on that.
I mean, it's no worse than I have put others through.
Yeah,
That's true. That is true.
those who have been rung will ring. PHNX Sun Devils 2023.
Okay. We
Those
talked
who
a little
have
bit.
will write back, or have been written to will write back.
Who, me?
Just
gonna
anybody,
write back?
Anybody that's been written to will write
Okay.
back.
Well, let's write back on the dumb shit that Deion Sanders said. Or, on what Deion said. This was a couple weeks ago that he said on the Rich Eisen show. And I referenced this a little bit earlier last week, saying that Deion had said something that was just totally out of pocket. And over the weekend, it went viral. So this is what Deion Sanders had to say in terms of sticking his own foot in his mouth.
More and more and more.
We have different attributes: smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character. Yep. We're looking at now quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent.
Mm-hmm.
We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up because he's got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad decisions off the field at all, because he has to be a leader of men. It's so many different attributes and what we look for when we see a quarterback. And you would love a coach's son. Somewhere that the coaches coached him, and I'm not going down my road. I see you smiling because
I know who your quarterback is
he's
right now.
talking about my son. I didn't just build a template for my son, but that's what really we look for in quarterbacks. Different positions are different. Like O lineman, I look for dual parent homes,
right?
A strong father that they adhered to,
right?
Smart kid, at least 3.3. and above.
You're also describing Hurts.
Yeah, tough.
Well. I mean,
physical. I mean, offensive line. My defensive line is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I mean, I'm talking about just trying to make it. He trying to rescue mama. Like, mama barely made the flight.
Trying to get out the mud.
And I want him to just go get it. It's a whole different attributes that you look for in different positions, and we have that stuff just chronicled. We know what we want, and we go get it.
Deion Sanders here on.
It's interesting to hear him say that he wants quarterbacks from a household with 2 parents, because I suggest you go look up where the mother of his first 2 children live. Spoiler alert, it's not with him because they're divorced, which I don't have a problem with. If you've been watching the show for the last month, you probably know that my parents were also divorced. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is a problem when you make that a fucking stipulation for your quarterback. Also, I don't know if you know this about the demographics of America, but the stipulations that Deion laid out there will undoubtedly affect black quarterbacks more than white quarterbacks. And this gets back to the problem I had with Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State in the first place. Everybody wants to make it about, oh, why do you have such a problem with everything Deion's doing? You're tearing down a black man. What about all the young black men that he left behind at Jackson State, and now he is leaving behind with these dumbass stipulations? It's bullshit. And it's racist, Deion. That's just a fact of the matter. And none of the white men on that set wanted to call you out because they didn't feel like they were in a place to do that, which is fair. But saying this shit is dumb as all hell. I grew up without a father. I also had higher grades than the vast majority of anybody in my school. I also, that was my MO when I played sports. I wasn't very athletic, so I tried to be a leader. I tried to have a good head on my shoulders. And you know who did that for me? My single fucking mom, Deion. You're an idiot. Shut your stupid mouth. I've been hesitant to side with Totri in a lot of his takes about Deion. This crossed the line for me. You're a fucking dummy. Fuck you, Deion Sanders.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second.
I was gonna say, and this is the last episode.
It's insane.
It's the most asinine thing I've heard a head coach say.
Take away just how awful what he said was.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What is the point?
Not only what is the point of having those stipulations, what's the point of saying it in public?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, he thought he was funny. He thought he was being funny when he made the single.
I don't know if he thinks he's being funny though.
I just can't think of any other reason why he would say that and think that it was okay.
It's what we've talked about before. What are we doing? We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You also have to understand where he is recruiting and where Colorado is. It's in Colorado. Go walk around Colorado. Use both hands to count how many black people you see.
Go to Colfax in New York.
But that's at a certain point. Right, that's got to be. I don't care who you are. You can't just, especially in today's day and age, you can't just go out there and say shit like this.
The problem is you kind of can, because what's going to happen? Literally nothing.
I'm interested to see what this does, if it does anything, for recruiting numbers next year.
I mean,
It's not gonna matter, man. That's just how this shit works.
It's definitely
And
a conversation. If you're a recruit, if Deion is recruiting you, you see that. What are you like? What are your thoughts? Or is there conversation
I think
to
it's
be
bullshit.
had?
But if you are the quarterback that Deion wants, you're sitting there and looking at that and be like, oh, look, yeah, both my parents are here, and I do have good grades.
But on the
and I am
flip
a good
side,
leader.
on the flip side of that coin, there is probably a quarterback out there that is just as talented, if
Yes,
not more,
I
that
agree.
doesn't
But
meet his
as-
stipulations, that is using that as fuel.
Yeah.
For the next 4 years.
Listen, I agree with
Says,
you.
I want to play in the
Every
Pac-12
part of
just
this-
to prove Deion
Yes,
wrong.
every part of this is fucking ridiculous. But as far as Deion is concerned, why should he care? He's got his quarterback right now, and any quarterback he's recruiting is going to fit the mold that he has set for it. So as far as Deion is concerned, it's not going to matter. I doubt it's going to affect anything with him. It doesn't change the fact that it's bullshit. And if he is saying this out loud, I am sure there are hundreds of white coaches who think the exact same thing. And again, take a look around college football. See how many coaches are white. It's damn near all of them.
Well, and this is the last point on this, and again, he's saying this in public. And to
Yes.
your point about white coaches, I can't imagine what is said behind closed doors.
And to be fair to white coaches, there's a black coach. I'm sure there's plenty of black coaches that think the same thing because they were raised in this environment where that's how they think. Like, that's how football operates, this is how the world operates, America operates, is on racial stereotypes and microaggressions and all this dumb shit. And so, to a certain extent, I almost can't blame Deion. Well, I mean, I blame Deion, but like, to a certain extent, this is just what football is. This is what sports are. This is what American society is. He grew up. He is fortunate enough to be one of the black people that has power in a predominantly white field. And that does not happen very often if you are spitting in the face of what those white people in power think about the world. So it's just he's a product of an environment to a certain extent, but that does not excuse how fucking bullshit it is.
Yeah, I totally agree. Guys, that's going to do it for us today on the PHNX Sun Devils show. Shane, you're departing yet again.
yeah. This will be the last trip I take this year.
We leave for
without
Vegas
you-
next
without
week.
you guys.
Okay.
This
Going
should
to
be the
Indy.
last hiatus I take until the summer, because I'm gonna need to
Get away.
I'm gonna need
Go to a
s-
jungle
like,
or something?
Yeah, I want to get primal,
In a jungle.
yeah,
I'm
Amazon.
down. Hell
Go
yeah.
find like an unidentified.
or just go out to the superstitions and backpack.
You got to go find like an unidentified
find that
group
gold.
of like native people. In
You guys
South
heard about the
America.
Dutchman's Gold and the Superstitions
Actually, don't do
Mountains?
that.
Guys, give us a follow at PHNX _Sun
Look it up,
Devils. You
guys.
can follow me at Anthony_Toach. You can follow Shane at Shane Deef. You can follow Shawn DePause at Shawn_DePause.
The proud child of a single mother, as always.
Before we get out of here, guys, this is who we've got for you guys on deck. Going to be joining us in studio to take Shane's place on Wednesday. It is none other than Arizona State
Corn.
tight end Jalen Conyers is going to be in studio Wednesday at 2 p.m. We're going to see how his guest hosting is. Maybe there won't be a seat left for Shane when he returns.
Well, we said that about Ben Coleman, and then we said, "Oh my God, he's actually better than Shawn." Nothing happened. So,
That's
That's
crazy.
because you realized he wasn't better than me.
he was. Yeah, he was better than all of us.
We'll see you guys Tuesday. So tomorrow,